He said, I'm going to give you pastors that will feed you with healing words. Words that will heal you. So as I started to just take the word and just apply them, I found things started to change. I said, Lord, I can't tell you how many times I begged the Lord to just let me die because I was so frustrated with life, frustrated with this stuff. I said, Lord, I'm just tired. Typical black man saying, I don't know what to do. I'm at my wit's end. I don't know how to find my way out of this box. And he said, you just keep praying. You keep studying. I'll get you there. So I've learned over time not to be weary in well-doing. I just stay the course. And I've learned through deep, deep wrestlings with God that things are much different than what they appear. That what we see is not necessarily what it is. Right. It's different. And we have to get our eyes open so that we can achieve what belongs to us. And how does the living God do that? By giving you pastors after his heart, not our heart. So you know what? God won't give you the kind of pastor you want. He'll give you the kind of pastor you need. Because you're his. And he's going to give you what you need to become what you need to be. So he will develop Bishop Howell. Show him things that you've never heard. He said, I'll feed you. I'll give you wisdom and knowledge. The wisdom comes from the leader already having experienced some stuff and then tell you about it. That's the wisdom that he's already encountered. The knowledge is the information that he gives you to develop your thinking and your intellect so you stop seeing those things that bring you down. So you know what? I don't have anything to say negative. I tell the truth. I don't have anything to say negative about you or her, or this one, or that one. If I don't necessarily agree with it, I pray. And that's how I live. And things keep working. Things keep getting better and better and better. I never forget, probably 10, 12 years ago, church is full, things running over. I'm like, just offerings just fantastic. And I'm standing in the aisle at the end of the church service. I said, Lord, I am so sick of this. I don't know what to do. Most other pastors would have said, Jacob, what is wrong with you? You sick of this, man? You got a house full, y'all getting ready to build? I was sick of seeing no progress. I wasn't seeing progress. I was looking for these people to become the head and not the tail. I was looking for, as I said in Romans, the whole creation is groaning, waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. I wasn't seeing that. And the sons of God is the same word when the Holy Spirit said, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. That's the word weos. And he said the creation is groaning, waiting for the weos sons, waiting for the mature sons, because the creation is in a struggle right now. And the only people that can change anything is the church. But what do? We go to the world, try to get them to fix stuff. But it's in us. He said the word is nigh you, even in your mouth, which is the word of faith which you speak. We're supposed to be speaking to these things, but you cannot get anything to happen if you're operating in a double-mindedness. I'm going to cuss you out now, then ask the Lord to bless later. That's not the way it works. I've got to be consistent and honest and clean and through pure in my motives. I don't have any impure motives. Yes. Not mad with anybody, but I'm going to tell the truth. But it's the truth that makes one free. Now, why does he want to give you pastors after his own heart? Let me show you a couple of things real quick. Look at Isaiah. Look at Isaiah chapter 9. Look at verse 13. Let me show you why he wants to give you pastors after his own heart. He said, for the people turneth not unto him that smiteth them, neither do they seek the Lord of hosts. Yahweh said, I'm the one that had popped them, and they're not even looking to me. They're not seeking me. I'm the one that got them in this mess because I told them I was going to scatter you. I was going to do this to you. Read Deuteronomy 20. I'm going to scatter you everywhere. I'm going to do these things to you because you have been rebellious against me. So you know what? I only spend a lot of time messing with the devil. I bind you, Satan. Listen, Satan works for my Father. Satan is an employee of the living God. And whatever the living God tells him to do, that's all he does. He can't go any further than my Father tells him he can go. So I have to go back to my Father and say, Father, why am I in this? Why is this going on? And he tells me. Then when I change that behavior, I start coming out of that. You know how long I bound Satan with these blocked arteries? Before I had surgery, and for 8 years after I had surgery. And Satan didn't go anywhere. When I started acknowledging to the living God, Lord, I need some change in me. All of a sudden, the doctor tells me, he said, well, Jacobs, I don't know what to tell you, but your heart's growing new arteries. He said, 3 of them blocked up. They did the surgery. In a month, I had 3 of them blocked right back up again. Then he said, well, your heart's growing new arteries. He said, look like you're going to come through this thing. But I had to start changing some things about the way I thought. Yes, sir. And when I did, the body started to change. Yes. Your body is under the control of your mind. Yes. Your mind should be under the control of the Holy Spirit. Yes. When you listen to him, your body listens to you. What we want to do, we want to get the miracle when the miracle is supposed to be you changing, going from glory to glory to glory. That's what your leaders are for, to show you how to do that. You see, church should never be something that we just do as an empty ritual. It's supposed to be something you do and you get something new and different to change you every time you come in. Yes. Yes. So you become better and stronger. Every worship service should move to another dimension because you got something in the last one that washed you, and as you got washed, you went on to another place. So when you come back in the next time, you didn't come in with the same thing you had before, because he said, enter into my gates with thanksgiving, into my courts with praise. When you come in like that, then the Holy Spirit comes down and goes, what did he say? He said, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven. I will forgive their sins and heal their land. Notice, no healing comes until forgiveness comes. That means there's stuff we got in us that we don't want to see. There's stuff that we carry that we do not want to deal with. We don't want to believe there's some stuff wrong with us. But I found out, Jacob, there's some stuff ain't worth a plug nickel in you. And when you start investigating yourself, you're going to find out there's some stuff that ain't no good. And that's when the Ruach HaKodesh will go in and snatch it out. Then you become. But see, I was too busy trying to be a good American Christian. I tell folks, I'm not a Christian. I'm a born-again believer. In Yeshua HaMashiach Yahweh. I'm a born-again believer in Jesus Christ, the living God, who became flesh and came and dwelt among us. So I believe in him, and I'm getting myself trained to be a disciple of him, a disciplined person of who he is and what he does. That's where I'm going. I'm not trying to be churchy. I'm not trying to be like everybody else. I'm not trying to do what the world is doing. I'm not trying to do what TVN is doing. I'm going in a whole other direction, and we're going to shake up the world like Muhammad Ali said, because I know that this thing is right. I know that there's another dimension, and we have not touched it yet. Oh, but you keep watching, baby. You keep watching. I said, Lord, I don't know if I got too old to be doing this kind of stuff. He said, all of a sudden, you just starting to live. It took me 80 years to get Moses where he needed to be, because Moses had 40 years of Egypt in him. It took me 40 years to get it out of him. He said, you had all these years of Babylon in you. And I had to take Babylon out of you. He said, because Babylon tells you, okay, be nice, be sweet. You know, don't do anything that would be politically or religiously incorrect. Don't say those things. Don't talk about black men being killed in church. That's for the world. We are crazy. We let this stuff happen.
That's right. That's right.
And we are not teaching our children. Listen, let me tell you something. Do you know what they're doing with the educational system? They do with nobody's children but yours. When our young boys get to the 3rd grade, they prepare them for prison. They build the prisons, and in the law it still says slavery is illegal except for penalty for a crime. They put them in prison. You know what they're doing now? They're taking these factories. Know how there's so many people being laid off? Well, there's not enough jobs. They're taking these boys in prison, letting them work for 40 cents a day, making the stuff you pay $15 for. So they're putting our boys in prison and putting them back in slavery, and we ain't even talking about it in church. Ain't even dealing with it. And I got grandsons, so I'm sorry. I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to let folk know, no, we got to do something about this. We got to handle this problem because we need to have ourselves thinking right. Now, God said that the children of Israel wouldn't be able to prosper when he scattered them because they would not have the ability to get on one accord. And their religion, it doesn't make any difference. Whether you Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, Holiness, Foursquare, non-denominational, shouldn't make any difference because they're not shooting these boys down because they're Baptist. That's right. Shooting them down because they're black. That's right. See? Not because they're Methodist. Oh, you're Methodist? Bam! They ain't doing that. They shoot them because they're black. I don't care what denomination they are, but we do. And then we come to the church and we do not get into what we need to get into, and people are dying around us every day, and nobody seems to care about what's happening to us. Let me show you something now. Verse 14, therefore the Lord will cut off from Israel the head and tail, branch and rush in one day. The ancient and the honorable, he is the head. The prophet that teaches lies, he is the tail. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. He said, I'm going to give you pastors up after my own heart because there have been leaders in the church that have led my people into a place of destruction.